I want to try to answer some questions that bothered a lot of people, and that's in the area of dream. And a lot of people have asked several questions about dream and dream manipulation, most especially in my past podcast. I know a number of people want to know more about dreams. So I want to go ahead and answer some of these questions. But before I do that, let me go to Matthew chapter 13 from verse number 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. In verse 25, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares amongst the wheat and went his way. 26, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. From this scripture, we can see what the Bible says about the seed that were sown when one is sleeping. And this was a parable Jesus himself gave. And so from this, we discover that this person was a good seed originally, according to what Jesus said. But while men slept, the enemy came and sowed contaminations. So I want to talk about the fact that when we sleep, the enemy, most of the time, most especially depends on how good you are as a child of God, how much time you spend in prayer, or how much you commit yourself to the Lord. The enemy has a legal right over some lives that are dirty to sow bad seed into people's life. And that's where I want to talk about dream briefly. Now, one of it is this. I will treat the dream by saying there were three manipulations about dream. Now, there were dreams. First of all, the dream that came from God. Dream itself is not evil. God expects us to dream because we're human. And why? Because God seems to have dream as the most simplest form of communicating with a human being. You don't have to be born again to have dream. You don't have to be a Christian to receive revelation from God in dream. No. God sees it as the cheapest means of communication. Remember, Joseph had a dream at a younger age. Remember, Joseph, the father of Jesus, father of Jesus, received a dream. And, you can see some other non-Christian, those who can say they're not good, they're evil, who also had dreams. So dream of its own self, it's something that God uses. It's a means of communication that God uses to reach men. Now, but having said that, do not forget that whatever good thing that God established, Satan will do the counterfeit. And that is why the evil dream, the bad dreams comes in. So God establishes the dream as a means of communication to reach out to men generally. You remember the wicked king's dream. Everybody dreams in the Bible. And so anybody can dream. But now, the second aspect of the dream that is evil is the dream that comes from Satan. And that gives me these three segments of dream. One, dream can come from your mind as a result of what you do overnight, as a result of what happened in the day. You can sleep and then you have a dream. For example, let's say you're going to a long fasting, and because you're fasting, you slept looking forward that I'm going to eat tomorrow, I'm going to break in the next 1 week, and you find out that a table of food is set before you and you were eating. That may be something that came from your mind because your mind is troubled that I need to eat. Now, that is a dream that could be just a natural thing that came as a result of your mind pondering over an issue. The second part of dream is the dream that comes from God. That could be a dream, a message, an information, a revelation, a guidance from the Lord. So the second form of dream is a dream that comes from God. Like I mentioned, God uses dream in the Bible to direct, to guide, and to instruct his people. Then the third part of dream is what I call demonic manipulations. Those were evil dreams. Those were things that Satan used in order to harm people. Remember I said, whatever God started, the devil wants to do it in a wrong way. So now let me focus on the manipulations, the bad part of dream. The bad part of dream is what I just read to you in the book of Matthew chapter 13, reading from verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man that went and sowed good seed into his field. Verse 25 says, but while men slept, his enemies came and sowed tares. This is where I want us to pause. While a man lay down to sleep, the enemy comes in and sows tares into that life. Could you believe that most of the diseases and sicknesses that we don't know where they came from? Some of them may have been as a result of a seed that the enemy has sown into our life, including cancers and some other thing, tumor, and so on and so forth. So the dream says, the scripture says, the enemy can come and sow tear in the lives of those who are sleeping. Now, that brings me to the manipulations in dream, the evil dream, and the manipulation behind it. Number one, manipulation one is not dreaming at all. A number of people find out, I have never had a dream, and I don't know why. I never had a dream. From the time I was born, that's a manipulation. It is witchcraft manipulation, and it's called manipulation one. Now, because why? God has already endowed us, as given us the capability to be able to dream because we're human. But if you don't dream at all, it's a manipulation. We need to pray about that. Number two, manipulation two is that some people dream and forget instantly. They dream, they know they had on some dream, and they woke up and say, oh my God, wait, what did I see? I saw something. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no. I can't remember. I dreamt. And if that is happening to you concurrently, meaning all the time, it is a manipulation. It is witchcraft manipulation. They want to make sure that you do not have the information that maybe God is trying to send to you, or even what they are doing against you. So it is bad that you dream and you always forget. I'm not saying maybe one time you forgot, but you find out that you dreamt, but you always forget. Manipulation three is dreaming and the opposite. Everything you ever dreamt in your lifetime is opposite. If you find somebody is sick in your dream, it means the person is okay. If somebody is dead in your dream, it means somebody is all right. So what you always see in your dream is the opposite. The opposite. I'm not saying that you have some pictures that look like and it's not like that, but I'm talking about something that anytime you dream, you know your dream is opposite. If that happens, it's a manipulation. I'm not going to break the manipulations now, but I'm going to break those manipulations and explain them later. Let me go back to the seed that the enemy sown into people's life. Some people wonder, wait a minute, who comes to sleep with me at night? And even if you're married or I'm not married, but some people come and sleep with them and they, make love with them and they wonder, and in most cases we call them spirit wife or spirit husband. How did they come? How did I get spirit wife and spirit husband? What happened? Who gave me this wife or this husband? It's very simple. I want to explain briefly on the spirit wife and spirit husband in our dreams. That happened as a result of the fact that in your line, in your bloodline, there must have been a place where there's a link, where there's an initiation, where there's a connection in the spirit realm with maybe from your birth or great-grandmother, great-grandfather, something that started from your origin that has to do with maybe marine spirit or some other kingdoms of darkness where the names of all the people in the family have been listed. And based on that, in most cases, this issue of manipulation when it comes to marriage, when it comes to childbearing, when it comes to soul tie, having somebody in the dream, having a scene, somebody having sex, making sex in the dream. These ones happen most of the time because one way or the other, there is a link, a connection somewhere in your bloodline that you are not sure that you are being sold out or you've been given out to marry. I'll give you an explanation. A lady I met some years ago said that she didn't know what happened. But every time she's going and walking around, it will be like she is in the ocean. The ocean will be so roaring, so loud, and this ocean will cover her, and she will collapse, and she wouldn't know what to do. And she was married. She's grown, and she was like, "What's going on?" When I met her, I find out about her life. I said, "Okay, tell me about what you know about your parents, your mom, and so on." And she narrated that my mom do not have issues on time. They don't have children on time. And based on that, they start looking for children everywhere. And they got to a particular priest who said, I need to take you to a riverside overnight, and then we're going to be able to cook there. The woman should get some things to cook. And the woman got some stuff to cook. That's the woman that was looking for a child. The woman got some stuff to cook and a local pot, a pot to cook. They went to the riverside at night. And then right in that place that night, this priest who brought this woman who was looking for a child now commanded the fishes to come to the riverside, to come back to the shore of the river. And then in that place, the fishes came, and the mother who was looking for a child was told to pick any of the fish she wants. And it was like, what? The fishes will run. They said, no, I commanded the fish to come for your purpose. The fish will not run. So this woman who's looking for a child grabbed one of the fish and put in the pot. And this particular priest said, pick as many fish as you want, because those are going to be your children. If you want 3 children, pick 3 fishes and put it in the pot. And the woman said, let me start with 1. Pick 1 fish and drop it in the pot. And they cook that by the shore side that night. And the woman looking for a baby ate that food right there that night. And she got pregnant. She was happy. I'm pregnant. Now, when they delivered this baby, this problem started. That they should be hearing roaring water and all kind of things. Now, when I prayed deliverance for her, what happened was that day, the whole house was shaking when the deliverance was going on. Things were falling, plates were falling from the kitchen, clothes were falling from the racks. It was a very massive type of deliverance I've ever handled. Now, where am I going? I'm going to the fact that where do this woman got initiated or got connected to spirit of darkness? It was as a result of what the mother did. The fish the woman ate by the riverside was what brought the pregnancy. Now, there is a link from the spirit of darkness. There was a connection with water spirit, which is called marine spirit, from the fish that the woman ate. So that was why this woman collapsed, always hearing the roaring noise, terrifying noise, and then until I ministered to her. Now, let me now show you where did this become a soul tile that she has somebody that is connected to her. Now, this is where some people get some spirit husband and spirit wife. From that moment that the woman ate the fish, there may have been an agreement signed that you are married to marine, because the mother has brought this woman to the marine. And so there's an agreement signed. So when this woman was growing up, the woman I'm talking about the baby now, who is now a grown woman. When this woman now grew up, she now became married to marine, because originally they got her initiated to the marine kingdom. So now, for people like that, they don't know how do they have spirit husband. The spirit of husband came because the mother has signed up from that moment that immediately we give you a child, because Satan never give anything for free. Immediately will give you a child, she belongs to us in the marine kingdom. So that particular person will have the marine dealing with them on a regular basis. That's why some people can be having sex, making love, doing wedding, finding them on the bottom of the sea and doing things, because they have been signed up. There was an initiation, there was a dedication in the spirit realm because of the opening of the mother. What the mother do when she was looking for a child has already initiated the baby that was born. So when she became grew up, the enemy came and started, troubling her. So in most cases, some of these spirit husband and spirit wife originated from the source of the parent. In most cases, maybe great-grandfather, grandmother, who had covenanted that all my children will serve you for one reason or the other. All my daughters will serve you. So in that sense, the devil has taken it that I have a wife. I remember a particular case, a woman who was looking for a child and got married, had a child, and then they were told that you should not get married because you are married already in the kingdoms of darkness, because her mother committed her womb to marine kingdom. Now, based on that, she said she grew up and they said, if you need to marry at all, we have to pay all the things that we're owing to marine kingdom. This woman became a Christian. They didn't pay all that anymore. She felt, if any man be in Christ, a new creature, all things are passed away, all things are new. So I don't have to do that again. But that was what she believed. Now, she got married against the wish of the marine kingdom that she got married to through her mom. Now, after the marriage, she got pregnant. When she got pregnant, then something happened that the blood started rushing out of her system continually. There was nothing they didn't do. They went to hospital. Immediately she got to the hospital, the spirit husband will appear on the wall and tell her, we told you not to marry and you got married. We told you not to have an issue. You're trying to have children. I'm going to kill you because you're not supposed to marry to start with. So this spirit husband start chasing after this woman everywhere to the extent that the blood did not stop. Then someone spoke to me and they came and I sat down with this woman and the woman told me, yes, that was what happened. My mom, did this and did that and that. I never knew that I was committed to the kingdoms of darkness, but every time I sit down, I'm going to see the man who claimed to be my husband. So spirit husband may come as a result of the initiation that came from the bloodline of the parent. It could be from great-grandfather, great-grandmother, that sign you up unconsciously because they needed something and they have to deposit somebody. So in most cases, it happens that way. So this particular woman I'm talking about came for us for deliverance. And as she entered the church, the spirit husband stood at the door of the church and said, you still come here? We told you never to go there. All right, I'm waiting for you. As he said that, this woman sat at the church. We're trying to do her deliverance. She realized that her purse was missing. The whole money that she has was in the purse, and the purse was missing. And as she was looking around and said, what happened to me? Where's my purse? Was asking the husband. The spirit husband from outside of the church waved the purse and said, I have your purse. I'm keeping it. Anytime you're ready to come back to me, I'll give you your purse. And the lady told me and said, sir, this is the spirit husband I told you is outside of the church waving my wallet. I said, okay, let us pray. So we pray, and then she got her delivered, and we deal with that spirit, and we gave her some assistance for her to go. Immediately she got back home, the blood started again, rushing blood so bad that they have to rush her to the hospital. At the door of the hospital, the spirit husband was standing again saying, I told you, you're going to die. We will kill you because your mom had covenant with us. So we've seen series of cases. Now, I want you to know that spirit husband and spirit wife comes in through some few sources that I'm going to explain. One, it could be that the parent has signed up to a particular kingdom, maybe that we're going to give our children to serve you, we're going to worship you, we're going to be there for you, we're going to pay this price. And when they say all that, the devil kept the record. They never lose it. And if the person is a male, that means they have signed up that the person is going to be married to the kingdoms of darkness, we're going to have a wife from the kingdoms of darkness. If the person is a female, that means the person is married from the kingdoms of darkness. So if that won't happen, it could be from the parent, maybe grandparent because of what they signed up for. Number two, it could be as a result of wrong illicit sex that some people have. A number of people have slept with people that are occultic and demonic and satanic, and as a result of that, they may have got connected. For example, I remember a young girl who was keeping a boyfriend. The boyfriend and her, they were friends and they were talking. And then one day the boyfriend said, my girl, you know that you can never leave me. If you try to break this relationship, I'll show you who I am. I am a serpent. And the lady said, what do you mean? Remember that when the so-called love is going on, nobody cares. Whatever you say, we just laugh about it. So the lady said, you mean you're a serpent? I said, yes, that's who I am. So anyway, they cracked joke and that went away. They forgot about it. Now, later on, when this girl was to be married, they have left Ghana. All these things happened when they were in Ghana, in Africa, but now they left Ghana and they are now in Atlanta and they attend my church. And right in Atlanta now, the girl find it difficult to get married. Every effort, very beautiful, nice girl, but she couldn't marry. And then she was worried. She came to me for prayer. It was during that time we discovered that the young man who said, I am a serpent, actually duplicated himself into the girl. And that is to say, in what sense, during the time they have some sexual intercourse, this woman has duplicated or deposited himself into the girl. And based on that, nobody wants to marry her because of sex. So it's quite possible that a number of people got connected into soul tile, or what I call spirit husband and spirit wife, through sex. That wrong sex and wrong illicit sex. Another means by people, the way people get into spirit husband and spirit wife is when they eat some things that has to do with the sacrifices that is rendered. For example, I know that in some areas, there's some sacrifices that people share because a particular person, they may not give you the details, a particular girl needs to be free. And so because they want to be free from a particular satanic group, they will share some food. Everybody need to eat the food. And once you hear or partake out of that food, you are one of those who are connected in the spirit realm. So in the dream, most of the things that will suffer in this dream, most especially I'm now treating the area of spirit wife and spirit husband that started from the dream through food, through sex, through the lineage of the parent. One can enter into this spirit wife and spirit husband. And then if I need to build a little bit on the dream manipulation I mentioned before, when someone has gotten into a level of not dreaming at all, what the witchcraft is trying to do is that they want to block your spiritual memory and understanding. You won't even know, because there's no one that is not entitled to dream. God created us to be capable to be able to have revelations and visions and dream. But if we don't have it again, you don't ever have dream at all. There was a girl who came to me and the mother, they came to one of my revival, and the woman came to me after I preached on this particular topic and said, well, I have my daughter here. She's 18 years old and she never dreamed at all. At all, not one day. And I say, okay, that's not what the Bible says. We are entitled to dream. God has given us the capability to receive revelations and visions. And so let me pray for her. I lay my hand on the girl and I say, Father, thank you because you are opening the spiritual understanding of this girl to be able to see revelations and visions and dream. And I left and they left. The second day, because the revival was about 5 days, the second day the girl came and the mother said, sir, my girl has more than 3 types of dreams overnight. That was the girl that has never dreamed before, and narrated the dream. They were so clear. Now, when you cannot dream at all, you've never, even the blind people dream. The blind people who have never seen anything with their eyes, they still dream. Because dream is our right as human beings. So from that moment, that one start dreaming. Some other manipulation, the other manipulation I mentioned is dreaming the opposite. Everything you see is not the right thing. It is the opposite. I mean, when it is concurrently, every time you see it is opposite. That one is also a manipulation. It's a manipulation of witchcraft to confuse your mind. And if you feel that, well, because I see this person dead, the person will be alive, you need to pray against it. Cancel that manipulation. It's a witchcraft manipulation. The third one is a manipulation that makes some people to dream and forget instantly. You dream and you don't ever remember. And You start capturing it. Oh my God, I saw this. I don't remember what I see. When it comes to that, it's also a manipulation. The reason why they do that is they block your understanding. If it is something good you need to pray about, you won't be able to know. If it's something evil that is dangerous, you won't be able to know. It is witchcraft. And let me ask a question for you to get my point. What if Joseph, when he had a dream that he should take Jesus and go to the land of Egypt, what if he forgot the dream? They will have killed the baby Jesus. And so what if Joseph, the King Pharaoh who had a dream, what if he forgot the dream? So a lot of things that people do not understand. When you dream and you always forget, there's a manipulation there. There's need for you to go for deliverance and clean that. It is witchcraft manipulation. Dreams are natural. Dreams are good. And it's the cheapest way God wants to use to communicate with humanity. So if you're not dreaming at all, you need to do a special prayer. If you're dreaming and forgetting, it's not right. It's bad. And if what you dream is always opposite, it's also not good. So what do we have to do? We have to go for prayer. Seek for God's help. Because every dream you see in the Bible, look at many, many times in the Bible, God uses dream to warn, to direct, to give guidance, to give instruction. So dreams naturally is good. It's okay. But when it is evil, remember, every good thing the devil will want to use for his own harm and destruction. So dreams are okay, but you can know the difference between the dream that's coming from God and the dream that is of the devil. How? One, if the dream is natural, I mentioned that one. If it's just a natural thing that what you're thinking in your mind, like what you're worried about, it could come up in the night because we're human. You find out that, for example, let me give this cracking joke. When I was younger, my school always asked us to bring some, they call it handcraft that time. You have to do something, prepare something, bring it to school so that they will see that you're a person who knows about art. Now, that time, I don't like to do anything. I always like to go with money. If you don't have anything, you can go with money. So I want to go with money on Friday when we're submitting this thing. But then there were times overnight on Thursday, I don't have the money I wanted to give them in the school. I'll be worried about that money. Oh my God, this teacher is going to be so terrible at me today. I don't have the money. I'll be worried and I'll sleep with worry because I know Friday morning they will ask for the money. And most of the night when I sleep like that, I woke up, I will be in my dream and I'll be so rich, have so much money that I will even be giving money to people. And then when I wake up in the morning, I find out, wait. So this is a dream. The reason for that dream is because my heart, my natural mind, had already seen what I carried in my heart. And as a result of that, it could become a dream that comes as a result of a natural human mind. Now, the second one I mentioned, it could be directly from God. How do I know a dream is from God? God gives specification to what he wants to tell you. And let me just correct something here. A number of people go to people for interpretation of dreams, which is wrong. No man can give you accurate interpretation about dream. I remember in those days, some people say, when you see this, it means that. When you see this, it means that. There's nothing like that in the Bible. When they asked Joseph the meaning of dream, because Joseph is a dreamer, and they went to him and said, Pharaoh has dreamt and we want to know the meaning. He said, no. I'm sorry, give me time to pray. Only God has interpretation of dreams. So don't ever, and I like that some of you go on AI to ask for interpretation of meaning of your dream. AI do not have a correct interpretation of dream. It will give you an idea, but may I tell you, the one that have the interpretation of dream is God. If you need to know what you dreamed, don't even ask Reverend James, what's the meaning of this dream? Because I need to pray. You need to pray. In order for us to have interpretation of dream, we need to seek the Lord and know God. What are you saying about this dream? How do you interpret this type of dream? We see 7 fat cows and 7 tiny cows. The tiny ones were swallowing up the fat one. How do you interpret that? Now, God has to tell you the meaning of this. So that is why when you have a dream and you are bothered, you're worried in your mind, God is the one who have interpretation. Don't go to all these fortune tellers. Don't go to all these people, necromancy people. Don't go to all those who tell you that they can interpret your dream. Sir, ma, there's no preacher, there's nobody who can interpret your dream except God. Go to God, seek his face, and if you don't know how to do that, look for a man of God who will agree with you in prayer. God can give interpretation of dream, because Satan also gives interpretations to dream, and they are false. So everywhere you go, that cannot be of God. So if you see some of these horrible dreams, if you find yourself at the bottom of the sea, swimming or having a meeting, you are not dreaming from God. If you see, some of these things that are happening that I have mentioned, then that's not dream from God. Dream from God are guidance, they're for directions, for instruction, and they give you peace. They're not going to give you worry when you wake up in the morning. And if you don't know the meaning of your dream, I've told you what to do. Seek help. They can pray along with you, be able to know what you are dreaming. Furthermore, I will give more answers to the issue of the dream. Actually, I will break some of these answers down later on, and I believe it's going to really bless you. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Again, my name is Reverend James Solomon.